everyone, it's Jack here, back for my match preview ahead of Friday night's clash against Watford at Carrow Road. Apologies, I look a bit weathered at the moment. I said I wasn't going to shave again until Norwich had a shot on target, and sadly it didn't come at Brighton last weekend. Brighton was just miserable, wasn't it? A really miserable away day, and reminded me of old times under Chris Hughton. Just them away games that you go to knowing you're probably not going to get anything from. I'm not a massive fan of Brighton away. I must admit, the grounds out of the city a little bit. I don't like them modern grounds very much. Brighton are a sound club. They're fairly inoffensive, aren't they? I just didn't enjoy that away day very much at all. We looked awful, like it must be said. Except for that shot from Marco Stiepermann fairly early on where he hit the crossbar, we offered absolutely nothing. And defensively, we looked poor as well. So I'm worried. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm worried about what Norwich City are capable of this season. And after the wins against Newcastle and Manchester City earlier on in the season, I thought that we might be able to conjure up something really quite special this season. But having seen us on the road at Palace and Brighton, and what was the other game I went to? Bournemouth as well. Granted, we got a point there. It's left me feeling fairly uninspired. So it's Watford up on this Friday, and I'm nervous because Watford are currently bottom of the table. We're 19th. Watford haven't won a game this season. They have 5 points with a goal difference of -17. We have 7 points with a goal difference of -15. So on paper, Norwich should be winning this one, but you look at that Watford side and there's a lot of talent in there. You've got Andre Gray, Gerard Deulofeu, Chalobah, Decore. The defence isn't maybe as strong as other areas of the pitch, so that's how hopefully we can get something from, but we haven't been even creating many chances in recent weeks. So look, I'm not entirely confident. I think I've said that already, and if you're going off sole evidence, then there is no reason to really be inspired. But you look back and you look at some of the performances we have put in at Carrow Road, and they do look slightly more optimistic than them away performances. And if we are going to stay in this division this season, then we are going to have to rely on our home form. Mario Vrancic could be back. I think we looked slightly brighter when Onel Hernandez has played this season. Emi Buendia I'm wanting to see more from. I haven't seen enough from Emi this season. There's been times when he's been fantastic, and I think there's stats that say he's one of the most creative players in the division this season in terms of what he's created on the pitch, but it's that sulkiness that really does need to get cut out of his game. Yes, that's the attitude that almost makes him the player he is, and at times he's unplayable. But in the Premier League, it's slightly different to the Championship, and he hasn't quite lived up to expectations and the high expectations he set himself last season. Another player that I've been relatively disappointed in is Moritz Leitner. Now, I thought Moritz Leitner in the Premier League was just going to be his kind of division. A bit more time on the ball, a little bit more space, more teams willing to get the ball down. But he's been poor as well this season. I think it's because he's been in and out of the team that hasn't helped. But we need to be seeing more from them kinds of players. The only player that I can really get excited about in recent weeks is Tim Krul. He had a really good performance against Manchester United and was good against Brighton as well. Made a few really good saves. But we shouldn't be relying on Tim Krul to come up with these magnificent performances. And we're not winning games anyway, so he can put in as many good performances as he wants and as many penalty saves as he wants. But if we're not winning games, then that's not really much help. So, look, I think there'll be changes. I'd like to see Hernandez start. I think Tete needs to be pushed into his normal position. I think Amadou will probably be back this week. Him at centre-back is not a good idea. Although we got away with it for 45 minutes at Bournemouth, he was woeful in centre-back last week against Brighton, and rightly so. That's not his position. It'll be really interesting to see whether Todd Cantwell starts. He started the season like an absolute house on fire, but fell off a little bit in recent weeks. I think he just looked a bit knackered, to be honest. And he's still very young, let's not forget. And I think Todd's been magnificent this season. So if he goes back in the team for the Watford, I'm certainly not going to be too upset about that. I think he probably warrants a place. Timu Puki hasn't scored in 6. We need to be seeing goals from him. Does he drop a little bit deeper just to get the ball because he hasn't had the ball at his feet enough in recent weeks? I'm certainly not moaning about Timu. I think he's still a magnificent player. He just hasn't had the chances put on a plate for him. So I'm not confident. I think I'd be very clueless if I said I was confident. But we need a performance, and we need one desperately, because if we lose here at Carrow Road on Friday night, then we're in big, big trouble. Because there's already a slight gap opening up between us, who are 19th and 17th. There's 4 points between us and safety at the moment. And that pack of Newcastle, Villa and Everton, on paper, are far better than we are. So we are going to have to win a game soon. And this is a fantastic opportunity to do exactly that against Watford, who are low on confidence, and not performing to the ability they should be. So a massive opportunity, one that we have to take, and if we don't take, then it's a long season ahead. But who knows? Norwich have pulled up bigger miracles than this in the past, and somehow I think we're favourites in this game. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you want to see my starting 11, head over to our Twitter account, and that's where me and Chris both put out our starting 11 preferred teams. That's at TalkNorwichCity. Let me know how you're feeling about the game. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.